This is the IELTS listening test. You will hear a number of different recordings, and you will have to answer questions on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you will have the chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 parts. Pause. At the end, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet. Now turn to Part 1. Part 1. In this part, you will hear a telephonic conversation, and based on that you will get 10 questions. First, you have some time to read questions 1 to 6. Now listen and answer questions 1 to 6.
Good morning, Savory Seasons Catering. This is Michael. How can I help you today?
Hi Michael, my name is Priya Menon. I'm organizing a graduation celebration next month for my university group, and I wanted to ask about your catering options.
Congratulations on your upcoming graduation, Priya. We'd be delighted to help. Could you tell me the date and a bit about your event?
Thank you. The celebration will be on Saturday, July 8th, in the evening. There will be about 25 people, mostly students and a few of our professors.
That sounds like a wonderful occasion. Do you have a venue already booked?
Yes, we've reserved the common room at our student residence on King Street.
Perfect. We've catered events there before, so we're familiar with the space. Are you looking for a sit-down meal or more of a buffet?
We'd prefer a buffet, something relaxed, so people can mingle. A mix of vegetarian and non-vegetarian options would be great, as we have several vegetarians in the group.
Of course. Our standard buffet includes 3 hot dishes, 2 salads, a bread selection, and dessert. For a group your size, I recommend adding a second dessert or some extra sides.
That sounds good. What are the hot dish choices?
For mains, you can choose from roast chicken, baked salmon, vegetable curry, mushroom risotto, or beef lasagna. Vegetarian options are clearly labeled, and we always keep them separate on the buffet.
I think we'll go with roast chicken, mushroom risotto, and the vegetable curry. For salads, what do you offer?
Our most popular are the Greek salad, couscous with roasted vegetables, and classic Caesar salad. You can pick any 2.
Greek salad and couscous. Please, what desserts do you recommend?
Chocolate mousse and seasonal fruit tart are both favorites, but we also offer brownies and lemon cheesecake.
Let's do the chocolate mousse and brownies.
Excellent choice. Will anyone attending have food allergies or special requirements?
Yes, one of the professors can't eat gluten and another is allergic to nuts.
Noted. All desserts can be made gluten-free on request and will ensure nothing contains nuts. We'll label everything clearly and our staff can answer any ingredient questions at the event.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to read questions 7 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 7 to 10.
That's reassuring. How much does the buffet cost per person?
Our standard buffet is $17.50 per person. That includes delivery, setup, and collection of all serving dishes. There's a 10% discount for student groups, so the total for 25 people would be $393.75.
That's within our budget. How does payment work?
We require a £100 deposit to confirm the booking. The remainder can be paid by card, bank transfer, or in cash on the day of the event.
When do you need final numbers and menu choices?
Ideally, 1 week before the event, so by July 1st, just in case there are any last-minute changes.
And what time will you deliver on the day?
We usually arrive about 1 hour before your event begins, so for an evening celebration, we deliver around 6 p.m.
Do you provide plates, cutlery, and napkins?
Yes, all disposable plates, cutlery, napkins, and serving utensils are included. We also collect everything afterwards, so you don't need to worry about cleanup.
That's a relief. If we want to add drinks, do you supply those?
We can. Soft drinks and bottled water are available for $1.50 per person. If you want tea or coffee, we can provide insulated containers for an extra $15.
Just soft drinks and water, please. When should I pay the deposit?
As soon as you're ready to confirm, I'll email you an invoice with payment details.
Perfect. If I have questions before the event, what's the best way to reach you?
You can call me on 01273559081 or email events@savoryseasons.co.uk.
Thank you, Michael. I'll send final numbers next week.
We look forward to helping make your graduation a success.
That is the end of part 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Part 2. In this part, you will hear a monologue. A person is giving an orientation to a group of people. First, you have some time to read questions 11 to 15. Listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 15.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the City History Museum Docent Training Program. I'm Dr. Lena Holloway, the museum's Community Engagement Lead, and I'll be giving you a brief orientation today. Whether you're here because of a love of history, a passion for education, or simply a desire to give back, we're really glad to have you. Now, before we talk about what you'll be doing, let me tell you a bit about the museum itself. The City History Museum opened in 1928, but the building we're in today was originally a 19th century courthouse. The museum now features exhibits from the early colonial period all the way through to post-industrial America. Each year, we receive over 200,000 visitors, including school groups, tourists, and local families. That means there are plenty of opportunities for you to interact with people from all backgrounds, and you never quite know who you'll meet. We currently operate 4 permanent exhibition halls and rotate about 6 temporary exhibits per year. These temporary galleries allow us to highlight specific themes. For example, we just wrapped up a feature on immigrant artisans of the 1800s, which was very well received. As docents, your role is primarily educational. You'll be giving tours, answering questions, and helping visitors connect the artifacts to broader historical themes. But don't worry, you're not expected to memorize every single date or event. What we care about is storytelling, helping guests walk away, having learned something meaningful. Your shifts will typically last about 3 hours, and you'll be assigned based on your availability and preferred themes. If you're more interested in military history, we'll place you in that section. If you like social history or education, there are roles for you too.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to read questions 16 to 20. Now, listen and answer questions 16 to 20.
Now, I'd like to share some experiences from recent volunteers, just to give you a sense of how diverse the role can be. First up, we have Sam, who was originally quite shy. He started off just assisting with coat check, but eventually began leading weekend tours. He said the supportive environment helped him build confidence and public speaking skills. Then there's Jaya, who's doing her master's in American Studies. She was especially drawn to the temporary exhibits. She told us that helping curate visitor experiences gave her insights into how museums shape historical narratives. Ron, a retired firefighter, didn't think he'd be much into the education side of things. But after joining a training session, he found he loved explaining how urban planning evolved over time, especially fire safety in old buildings. Emily, a high school student, volunteered during her summer break. She said what she appreciated most was meeting other volunteers who shared her interests. It made her feel like part of a team and strengthened her goal to study history in college. And finally, Thomas, who speaks 4 languages, volunteered in the International Guest Program. He mentioned how meaningful it was to interpret exhibits for visitors from abroad. It gave him a fresh appreciation for local history through different cultural lenses. That concludes today's briefing. If you have questions afterward, feel free to approach me. We'll also be emailing you the full training schedule, along with links to your assigned reading and shadowing sessions. Thank you again for being here, and welcome to the City History Museum family.
That is the end of part 2. You have half a minute to check your answers. Part 3. Part 3 is an academic discussion between a student and a professor, or between 2 students. You need to listen to their conversation and answer questions based on that. First, you now have some time to read questions 21 to 25. Now, listen and answer questions 21 to 25.
Hello, Lena. Come in. I've just finished reading your updated proposal on bilingualism and cognition. It's quite interesting.
Thank you, Dr. Hartwell. I've been really absorbed in the topic. There's so much literature about how knowing more than one language can affect brain development, especially in young adults.
Absolutely. It's a rapidly evolving field. What specific area are you concentrating on?
I'm focusing on cognitive flexibility, the brain's ability to switch between different tasks or thoughts, and whether bilingual individuals show more flexibility than monolinguals.
Excellent. That's measurable and relevant. What age group are you studying?
I've selected participants aged 18 to 25. I wanted to avoid children because the variables are harder to control, and adults often have more stable linguistic patterns.
Makes sense. So, how are you defining bilingual in your study?
That was a challenge. I'm defining bilinguals as individuals who speak and use two languages regularly in daily life, not just studied in school, but actively used in home, work, or social settings.
A strong and practical definition. How many participants have you recruited?
So far, 40, 20 bilinguals, and 20 monolinguals. I'm hoping to get 60 in total. I'm using an online cognitive flexibility test and following up with short interviews to explore how participants feel their language use affects thinking patterns.
That's a solid mixed method approach. Have you started collecting data?
Yes, just this week. Early results show a slight trend. Bilinguals complete the flexibility tasks slightly faster, but I need more data to say anything conclusive.
Of course. Are you tracking any other factors?
I'm asking about language learning history, education level, and even video game use, as these have all been linked to cognitive skills.
Good, you're controlling for confounding variables. Have you faced any difficulties so far?
Recruitment was harder than expected. Some people who identify as bilingual don't actually meet the criteria. Also, some struggled with the digital test format.
Perhaps consider offering paper-based versions as a backup. How are you analyzing the results?
I'm using SPSS for the quantitative test scores and NVivo for qualitative data coding from the interviews. It's taking time, but I'm getting more confident with the software.
Excellent. And your timeline?
I plan to finish data collection by next Friday and move into analysis by the following week. The paper is due in 3 weeks, so I'm on track.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to read questions 26 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 26 to 30.
That's great. Now, how's your preparation for the presentation going?
It's scheduled for Monday at 11:45 a.m., so I've started putting the slides together. I've divided the content into 5 parts: introduction, method, results, discussion, and future research suggestions.
That's a sensible structure. How long is your time slot?
12 minutes plus 3 minutes for questions. I've rehearsed it once already. Came in at just over 13 minutes, so I'm trying to trim it a bit.
It's always better to leave a little buffer time. Are you using any visual aids?
Yes, I've got 10 slides. Some charts showing the comparison between bilingual and monolingual response times, and a short animated flowchart to illustrate the methodology.
Sounds effective. Are you including any video or audio elements?
Just one short video, 15 seconds of a participant completing the test. It adds a human element without being too distracting.
Nice touch. And when are the slides due for submission?
By Sunday at 6 p.m., I plan to upload them Saturday morning, just in case I need to make any last-minute changes.
That's smart. And do you feel ready?
More or less. I'm doing one more practice session with my study group on Friday night. They'll help me check my timing and spot any confusing parts.
You're approaching this very professionally, Lena. I'm looking forward to seeing the final result.
Thanks. Your feedback has really helped me stay on track.
That is the end of part 3. Now you have 30 seconds to check your answers. Part 4. This part is a monologue where a person gives a seminar on a topic. You need to listen and answer all the questions at once. First, you have some time to read questions 31 to 40. Now, listen and answer questions 31 to 40.
Hello everyone. In today's lecture, we'll delve into the fascinating topic of color psychology in marketing, a critical but often underestimated tool that marketers and designers use to influence consumer behavior, shape brand identity, and even guide purchasing decisions. To start with, color is far more than just an aesthetic choice. It interacts with our emotions and subconscious mind, often triggering immediate reactions before we even realize it. This is particularly important in marketing, where companies rely on split-second decisions made by consumers. Let's begin by examining the cultural and psychological meanings associated with certain colors. Take red, for example. It's known for its ability to evoke strong feelings such as passion, urgency, and even danger. In marketing, red is frequently used in clearance sales or food branding because it's attention-grabbing and stimulates appetite. Contrast that with blue, which conveys a sense of trust, calm, and reliability. This is why many financial institutions and technology companies incorporate blue in their logos. It communicates security and professionalism. However, blue can also be seen as cold or impersonal if not balanced properly. Next is green, commonly linked with nature, freshness, and health. Brands in the organic food or environmental sectors often use green to reinforce eco-conscious values. It can also represent financial growth, which is why some investment apps and wealth management firms use it in their visual identity. Yellow and orange are warm, energetic colors that spark enthusiasm and optimism. They're often used to draw attention to call-to-action buttons or highlight key features. However, overusing them can create visual fatigue, so they must be applied with moderation. Purple, traditionally associated with royalty and luxury, carries connotations of sophistication and creativity. It's widely used in beauty products, premium chocolate brands, and even wellness items to denote indulgence and elegance. Let's not forget black and white. Black, when used correctly, suggests elegance, formality, and power. Luxury car brands and high-end fashion labels frequently use black backgrounds or typefaces. White, on the other hand, symbolizes purity and simplicity. It offers a sense of space, often used by tech brands to create a clean, modern interface.
But color psychology isn't just about choosing the right colors for a logo or product. It extends into the entire customer experience, from packaging to website layout. For instance, the color of a Buy Now button can significantly impact click-through rates. In fact, several studies suggest that red or green buttons tend to outperform blue or gray ones in e-commerce platforms. It's also essential to remember that color perception is subjective. Cultural differences can dramatically alter interpretations. In Western cultures, white is commonly associated with weddings and purity. However, in parts of East Asia, white is linked to mourning and funerals. Marketers expanding globally must consider these variations carefully. There's also the matter of target demographics. Research shows that men and women may respond differently to colors. Men tend to prefer bold colors like black and blue, while women are more responsive to softer hues such as purple and pink. Additionally, age can influence preference. Children are drawn to primary colors, while older adults might prefer muted tones. Now, when it comes to branding, consistency is key. A brand's signature color can increase recognition by up to 80%, according to some reports. Think of red and Coca-Cola, or blue and Facebook. These colors become ingrained in consumer memory and help establish brand loyalty over time. Some companies even go as far as trademarking their colors. For example, Tiffany & Co. has legal rights to its signature blue, and Cadbury has protected its specific shade of purple. These colors aren't just design choices, they're part of the brand's intellectual property. On a more psychological level, colors can affect our perceived value of a product. Darker colors like navy, charcoal, and black are often used for premium products, whereas brighter tones suggest affordability or youth-oriented appeal. A simple color change in packaging can make an item feel more exclusive or more approachable. One famous case study comes from the fast food industry. Chains like McDonald's, Burger King, and KFC all incorporate red and yellow in their branding. These colors have been found to stimulate hunger and urgency, making them ideal for fast-paced food service environments. Interestingly, color can also be used to encourage specific behaviors. For example, green hues are increasingly being used in supermarkets to promote healthy food choices. In one study, fruit and vegetable signage displayed in green lighting led to a 15% increase in produce sales. Digital platforms also exploit color psychology. Streaming services use dark interfaces to reduce eye strain and keep users engaged longer. Meanwhile, notification badges, usually in red, are intentionally designed to be hard to ignore. They create a sense of urgency that encourages instant interaction. In summary, the psychology of color in marketing is a potent, multi-dimensional tool. From cultural implications to emotional triggers, every color choice communicates something to the customer, even if they don't consciously notice it.
That is the end of part 4. You have now 30 seconds to check your answers. You have now 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet.